All right, what we got here is a 1/16 Thunderstroke motor, and I put the motor back together, and as I was trying to shift the transmission after it was together, the transmission would not do this. It would not freely turn, and that let me know that I had did something wrong, so I had to take it all the way back apart. RTV here, I had to clean up everything. And what I'm gonna show you now is what the problem was, and if you're ever rebuilding a Thunderstroke, you would know what to look for and make sure this doesn't happen to you. This is the front of the bike here. We've got both of the pistons, and the crankshaft goes through that hole right there. This is the output shaft of the transmission. We're gonna take the sprocket off. And this is the input shaft. This is the shift drum, which was our culprit, and these are the shift rails. The rails go into this part of the crankcase, shift drum right there, output shaft, sprocket on the other end, and the input shaft here. And this is where the balancer goes through, and again, the crankshaft. So the problem that I had, which was right here, the shift drum, see, it is fully tight because I already have the solution to this, which is the shift star mounted on the back. But before, let me show you, this is the shift star. And this is what allows us to keep the shift drum kind of mounted and in place while we're trying to make the two halves together. What happened is the manual just tells you to slot this in here, right? And to put the shift forks in the corresponding grooves in the shift drum and the rails as well. So when this is without the shift star on, see that play? That play is in there, and what happens is this shift fork right here wants to pop out because see that? Yeah, see that? This pops out. What happens is that shift fork ends up slotting in the wrong place. But as you're putting the shift drum through that hole, it mates flush in that bearing. But on the back side of this, it does not. On the back side of this, you can see right there that that bearing is not fully in contact with the shift drum. And that is because the shift star sits on the other half of that. And that little hole right there, that is where it slots in. And on the other side of the shift drum, this is where the gear sensor sits in, which is what a lot of people have issues with Indians. It slots into that little hole, and as it rotates, this is how the bike knows what, or at least the computer or the ECM knows what gear that the bike is in. So what I ended up doing, I put all of this back together, and you're able to look at the output shaft, the input shaft, the balancer, the crankshaft, and the shift drum as you're drawing the cases together, because you're putting pressure on the crankshaft, pulling it through that hole, which means that you have to take a hammer and tap in various places to hammer this, these two halves together. Well, what happens is this is always moving, but you can see it through the hole. You're actually able to put your finger and kind of move it in the place that you want it, but you're not able to see if the shift fork is where it needs to be. Because right now, as you can see, it is not where it needs to be. So I put this together thinking that it was all where it needed to be, and it simply wasn't, and I ended up having to take it all back apart, and I ended up breaking a very important piece called the piston oil jet. What this little thing does, you can see I JB welded it, and I do have a replacement. This is not gonna be on the bike. I have the replacement here. This was a $45 mistake. What the piston oil jet does, it squirts oil on the rail and the piston to keep this from getting too hot, because if this gets too hot, what'll happen is the tolerances on these piston to the wall of this is so thin. And metal, when it gets hot, what does it do? It expands. So if it expands and gets too hot, they will seize in the cylinder bore, and basically you're gonna blow up your motor. Or this little piece, being that I found it in the bottom of the motor, when I took it back apart, this little piece was in the bottom, which means that if this fails again, this could go inside of here and just shred up a bunch of stuff, and we'll have a bigger issue. So this ended up breaking because I had to take the motor back apart to fix this. When you're actually shifting the bike, right, you pull in the clutch cable. What this is doing, it is pulling the pressure plates out to remove pressure on the transmission. So when you're just actively riding the bike, what's happening is that clutch basket, the clutch system is turning, and it's applying pressure to the transmission, which is rotating the bike, is pushing the bike forward. But when we pull this in, it's taking the pressure off of the transmission, which allows us to actually use the shifter, and that goes all that force that you're applying goes down the shift rail, up into the transmission, or right to the outside of the transmission, and it's actuating this little device right here. And that is actuating the shift drum, which then actuates these forks, or these rails, which has the little forks on it right here. And these little things are sliding back and forth, which shifts the transmission into the various gears, which makes the bike go vroom, vroom, and go faster. There's absolutely nothing to the shift star other than sliding it in the back. And there's more pieces that go on the shift star, but we can actually turn this and keep the shift drum where we need to, just slide it in here. And it's really freaking cool. I'm really fascinated by this little shift star. I'm gonna put this shift rail back where it needs to be. Right, so that's back in its place. Actually, I can tighten this up just a little bit more. There's a certain torque that has to go on this, which I'm not applying. But the point of this is this gonna allow us to rotate this transmission. So right, so that's not coming down anymore. So if we were to mate this together, we wouldn't have to worry about this coming down. And also we're gonna put the sprocket back on here. All right, so if we were to turn this, transmission is turning as it's supposed to. See that? This is what's happening as you're riding the bike. This is turning thousands of times a second or a minute, whatever. And what's gonna happen is my hand's on the back right here on the little shift star. You see that drum down there? It's turning. But we can't fully turn it until the transmission is moving as well. I'm gonna simulate us trying to shift the bike. So right now we're trying to actually shift the bike. The bike is sitting still and you're wondering, wait, why am I not able to put the bike in neutral while the bike is sitting still? Well, this is why you have to roll the bike a little bit just to get the bike to go into the gear that you want, because the transmission has to move, right? So I'm assuming, I think this is neutral. I don't know exactly the rotation of where this is in the gear number, but that's the next gear. Let's see if I can get it. That's the next gear. You have to catch it right at the right point. That's the next gear. I think this is the last gear. But obviously this works a lot better when the case is on and everything is able to shift. Everything is meshed kind of tightly together, because right now it's loose. I'm having to constantly push that back in. But you can kind of get an idea of how the transmission works. And like I said, if I can get it back, there we go. But this is why when the bike is sitting still, you have to kind of rock it a little bit just to get it to move or to shift through the next gear as you're trying to shift it. Because, like I said, the transmission, it has to move. But when I put this together, this was not doing this. It was like clink, 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 and that's because that shift fork was caught in the wrong place, because the drum moved and the shift fork popped out. So this is how your shift forks can get damaged and everything, right? But yeah. What's happening when you hit that shift star, when you put your foot on that shifter, see that? These little rails, well, this one isn't actuated, but there's one right up, you see at the very back, you see that? This is what's happening. And these can't fully go until the rest of the bike, or at least the rest of the transmission, is moving with it. And as it's moving, yep, that's what allows it to go to the next gear. The moral of the story here is, use the shift star with the shift drum when you're putting the cases back together, and that would allow you to make sure that the transmission will be mating and meshing together correctly, and the forks won't be popping out, and everything will go smoothly. And also, you won't possibly be breaking a piston oil jack like I did out of frustration, because you have to take the case apart again and clean all of the RTV that you just put on there, which means that you're doing more work. But I can say that this little mistake showed me more about the transmission and how it works. And also, I was able to take the case apart in 10 minutes. And the first time I did it, it took me over an hour, probably 2 hours, because I didn't know how to use the tool. But it only took me 10 minutes to take it back apart. This is with all the screws in, everything. So I hope you learned something about the transmission. If you're rebuilding the Thunderstroke, this is a little tip that saved me from a catastrophic mistake of putting the bike back together thinking the transmission was good, and it was not. So I hope this helps you. But as always, thanks for listening to my story. Here's another video for you to watch. And if you're subscribed, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.